Hello? Okay, I got a microphone now. But, anyways, what I was saying, or what I was starting to say was, yeah, that's probably not gonna, that's gonna suck. I'm just getting everything, situated the way that I want it, so that when I start recording, it's like an automatic. I don't have to do a lot of setting up and stuff like that. Really? Okay. So what I was trying to say before I got all messed up was that all I'm doing right now is making some tea uh, while I get unloaded. I don't have no sugar. I think I got some peppermints though. But that is not what I came to talk about. I came to talk about, when you're out here on the road, you're gonna get sick. Now, I'm not sick right now. I was, you know what I'm saying, but it's a lot different out here. I mean, we're just because we're out here driving trucks, we still get sick, and we still, you know what I'm saying, just like we still need a moment to ourselves some kind of way. And I remember when COVID came out, I caught COVID twice. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, it takes a bite out of your paycheck, and you know what I'm saying. But just like any other job, where you got to stay home and take care of yourself. Sometimes you're unable to get home for a while before you can take care of yourself. You don't get just routed straight home. It'd be nice, but realistically, that's probably not going to happen. But those 2 times that I had COVID, I had I had help. You know what I'm saying? And just a couple days ago, you know, you eat stuff out here just like at home. You eat stuff that doesn't agree with you, or you try to start a different health regimen. I tried some health supplements. You know what I mean? That generally it's supposed to make you feel good. I don't want to say the name of the health supplement because it ain't their fault that it messed up my stomach. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I want to say their name, but that ain't right because it ain't their fault. And everybody's been doing really good on this tea. Or actually, it's like it's a mushroom coffee. I ain't gonna say the name, but sometimes mushroom coffees, they don't agree with everybody. You know what I mean? Some people can take them, no problem. Some people, it gives them a problem until they adapt to it. And I think maybe that probably was my problem. Is that, let me get closer. I know it looks like a mess on my top bunk, but it's virtually my closet, so it's really not that bad. But my bed is made, so. But so I got sick off of some a new coffee that I was trying to add into my health regimen and weight loss journey and all those type of things that everybody's doing right now. You know what I'm saying? And it just did not agree with me. And so I had all my trip was planned out. I had I was ready to go. You know what I mean? Like I was in the middle of the game, and I literally had to give it. I had to stop. Like I wasn't going nowhere. I kept having to pull over. Kept having to pull over. You know what I mean? I had my trip planned out so good. You know what I'm saying? That I had it planned out to where I was going to stop for. This is your 30-minute break where you're going to sleep that night. You know what I'm saying? All that kind of stuff. And it's pretty easy to stick to. But as soon as I got sick, all that went out the window. You know what I mean? Immediately, I was going through something, and so I was calling my dispatch and trying to get some help, or trying to get a swap, or trying to see just what I could do you know what I mean, to help myself without messing up my load. Because I mean, it is a business, you know what I mean, and they rely on us just as much as we rely on them. And I don't know. I had a little anxiety about it because I didn't want to call my dispatch and be like, oh, I ain't gonna make it, or something like that. I just didn't want any problems. And I called up Hirschbach. You know what I mean? I called my dispatch and I'm like, I didn't get anybody at first, and then so I left a message and I was like frantic, like help me, like I need, like I was really felt like I was going through something, and they were really really cool about it, really 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 cool about it. And I mean, I wasn't expecting them to be like, keep moving or else, but in the beginning of your driving career, you want to be like, you try to be the super trucker and you don't want nothing to slow you down and you want to be able to push through it. And sometimes a lot of different companies, they'll be like, they want you to push through it. You know what I'm saying? And they don't really give you a lot of opportunity to, just kind of they're not very flexible. And and you don't want to be around anything like that, because it makes you feel like you can't have any hiccups or anything. And life is life. You're gonna have some hiccups. So regardless of what's going on, there's gonna be some hiccups. And so when uh when I called them and I was like, I'm not feeling well. I need, I'm not gonna be able to. I keep pulling over. I keep stopping. Like I keep having to stop and go. It's cutting down on my time. It's cutting into my trip planning anyways. And so I was just like, I didn't want to call them because I thought that they were gonna, kind of give me a little flack, but it was unavoidable. I had to stop, and so I called her. When I talked to her, she called me back, and she was like, she was so cool about it. I think it was Patty at Hirschbach, yeah, Patty, and she was just cool about it. She was just like, you know what, I understand. Pull over somewhere where you feel like you're safe. Go, you know what I mean. Go to the nearest truck stop or rest stop or wherever you can, where you can, like, you can get some rest or whatever you need. Go there, and we'll look for you a relay. And I was so relieved at that, but I was still like, I felt kind of like a loser. And so I went to the truck stop. I went as far as I could go. I thought I tried to go to a rest stop, and then I was like, yeah, this is too way out in the middle. If I need, help, or need to go into the truck stop or something, I'm too far out. You know what I mean? So I pushed it like 50 more miles, and then I was just like, I got to stop. You know what I'm saying? But sorry guys, I'm trying to put all my stuff back before they get done unloading me, and I got to start, and I got to take off. But she told me to go ahead and pull over, and so I made it about 50 more miles to my nearest truck stop, and I shut down. And I let her know where I was and everything. And as the hours went on and everything, they weren't finding me a relay, and I was starting to panic and panic and panic. And they were like, I talked to the dispatch again, and I'm like, I'm sick. There's nothing I could do. And he was like, don't worry about it. No, I think it was Doug. He was like, don't worry about it. He was like, if you're sick, you're sick. What are you going to do? And that kind of makes you feel like, you know, yeah, Hirschbach is a big fleet. Yeah, they got, a lot of trucks and stuff like that. They go by driver code and, your truck number. But you feel like they know you personally. You know what I'm saying? Just by their attitude, the energy that they give. And you know that they're dealing with a whole bunch of, sorry, I got my back to the camera. Sorry. But, they're dealing with a lot of drivers, but they still manage to make me feel like they, you know, they understood. They were there for me. And so I just wanted to say, like, after it was all said and done, I got the relay, you know what I mean? But at the very last minute, like the 11th hour, when it didn't look like they were going to be able to find me a relay, I slowly got up and I was trying to pull myself together. And I was like, it took me like 10 minutes to put on my socks. And right when I was like, I got to do this. I'll just keep on going. Then going to get a relay. I was going to push myself, make myself get there some kind of way. And they called me and they were like, okay, we found you a relay. And I was like, so, I mean, you know what I mean? Like, I was so relieved, you know, they were just like, you're going to swap, and the load you're going to take is only 200 miles away. So if you can make it to there in the morning, you know, get some rest. Like they were really, like you know, they were really looking out, and I appreciate that. And I was like, you know, some trucking companies, no matter what's going on, they always, you know, it's no matter what it is, they always, the one thing they always say is, um, can you try to make it? Can you try to push? You know what I'm saying? Can you try? Can you try? Can you try? And it's like, that's messed up. You don't want nobody to feel that kind of pressure. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, if I felt like I could try to make it, I wouldn't have called nobody. I'd have just tried to make it. Sorry, it's hot in here. Oh, it's hot out here. I'm in Las Vegas, Nevada. But yeah, they were like, no, don't worry about it. We got you. You know, they had me covered. And you know, I got to drive to Vegas. You know, I got to get some extra sleep along the way. Like it really just worked out, and I was able to nurse myself back to health, get me some liquid IV, get back, you know, get back right again. And so, you know, like I said before, some companies are not going to do that. They're going to pressure you. They're going to make, and I've been there where they're going to pressure you and feel like, you know, with this is your truck and you got to expect these things. But yeah, you got to expect these things. But at the same time, I'm not like at the emergency room. I'm not at the near your nearest Walgreens, or, you know, I'm saying the CVS, or, you know, I can't just readily just hop out and go get medication. I got to wait till I get somewhere. Now, granted, I should be stocked up on certain things, and like around this time of year, like flu season and stuff, you want to have certain things. And so, you know, uh, we, just like you guys, I have to re up and go to find different places to go find these things. And yeah, I feel like Hirschbach really just kind of, you know, they shined in my in my moment of need. And it's kind of like a, you know, a give and take. You know, if they need me to do something, you know, I try to do what I can, you know what I mean, to help out. You know, and sometimes it's like, you know, deliver a trailer or go pick up one here, and you don't really feel like it, but you know, if you run and do it, you know what I mean, it probably take a little bit out of your day, probably, you know, add some extra hours onto what you were already doing. But in the long run, if you need something from them, they are really going to work with you. And it kind of looks good if they look at your, you know, your record there, and it's kind of like, oh, well, you know, they work hard, and you know, they try to get things done, so it's not like they're sick all the time. You know what I'm saying? Then they work with you, and and for me, that means a lot. You know what I mean? That makes me feel like I'm, you know, at the right place. So shout out to Hirschbach. Good looking out.